questions for Jadan Blue? If you guys have a question, raise your hand. We'll start right here with Andy on the front row.
Jadan, Coach Pry was talking about the need for explosive plays, and that he sees them sometimes at practice, and they're not really transferring to the game too much. Do you see that too, and how do you get those to transfer to a game more?
I think one of the biggest things about that is us self-inflicting ourselves those wounds, like those penalties and stuff. If we can eliminate those will definitely help Tebow to be able to make the best calls, and then on top of that, help Grant to be able to make the right reads to help those explosive plays happen. Because in practice, when you're doing those things, it's nothing like the game. So if you are self-inflicting yourself and making those wounds, it's going to be really hard to make explosive plays, and that's what we need to clean up.
What is the frustration level right now on the offense with those self-inflicted mistakes?
The frustration is high. It has to be, because if it's not, that means you don't care. So the frustration is high. But one thing I believe that Tebow always talks about is us not being discouraged. Can't be discouraged, because if you be discouraged at the end of the day, that frustration is not going to go anywhere. It's going to continue to stay there. But we got to be encouraged about what we have going on, and believing in what we have. So at the end of the day, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be more than fine.
You mentioned encouraged. Is that kind of the mindset of you guys heading into this upcoming week?
Oh, for sure. After any loss, it's hard. A few days you gotta take to get your mind right. But at the end of the day, like, encouragement. Once you take those, what we say, 24-hour rule, you get it off your chest, you get it out the way. Then after that, you got to get back to business and get your mind right and get everybody in the facility and then here to believe that, what we got going on is going to be, a positive thing coming. So we definitely are encouraged, I believe, as a team.
How do you feel like Sunday and Monday's practices were?
Well, Sunday.
Or was that film?
Yeah, like Sunday.
How do you feel like practice was yesterday?
Oh, well, I mean, we were off yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
First
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, just I guess the buy-in and just the energy level. Like, you feel like guys are still encouraged, like you said, and still wanting to improve, even though it hasn't been an easy road for you guys.
I believe that one of the biggest things that we can improve on as a team is, especially being young. A lot of guys are young, so they got to understand that. But it's on the older guys like me, to step in, who've had some experience, to then say, like, hey, like, this is nothing we are facing is new. This is college football. You're going to face a lot of adversity, And me being an older guy, I understand that. And I know that things aren't going to always go well. But at the end of the day, I think this is a time period where, you're going to really be able to see the type of team that you have. This is a good thing to see. Now you see who you have and what's going on and who's going to step up when adversity strikes.
Let's go to Aaron and then Anthony.
Hey, Jadan, how has this season gone individually for yourself, maybe relative to your expectations when you made the decision to come here? Like, how, with your usage and your production,
Mm-hmm.
just where are you with that? How do you feel about what you've done so far?
Well, one of my biggest things was, like, me as a football player, I would say I'm very unselfish. So I want to be on the field all the time, to be able to help the team and stuff like that. But I'm not regretting anything. I made this decision and I've been embraced by, the whole entire Hokie family, especially with Coach Pry. I love him. Like, I really do have a really good, genuine relationship with him. And I'm really just excited for what's coming, because I know that I'm going to be able to do more for this team in the coming weeks. Of course, I would have liked to done more production-wise, considering, my past and what I'm used to doing. That is frustrating. But at the end of the day, I don't now not believe, in that decision that I made. Like, I'm still here. I'm still in the present. You can't look back. You can't make any regrets. You got to just continue to move forward and keep pressing on. Like, it's going to be good. I still believe that. Got all the faith in the world. It's going to work out how it's supposed to.
And when you talked about the self-inflicted wounds earlier, is it communication? Is it penalties? Is it route running? Is it just bad throws? I mean, or is it a combination of all of that? Or is there one that sticks out that been more recurring than others?
I mean, I'm being honest. We all can be better. Like all of us, we can be better. And all as a wide receiver group, having more depth. So when guys are tired, being able to come in and not making MAs, which is missed assignments. Giving Grant better opportunities by not backing him up. To have to make plays on 3rd and 15 and changing the game from 2nd and 18. Like that's not gonna be like Coach and Pride say, like level 100 football. Like we're making everything so much harder on ourselves. So therefore, it's going to be a lot more difficult for us to improve, on the field. So at the end of the day, we clean those things up, we're going to be a whole nother football team.
Let's go back in the room to Anthony and then Jermaine.
Yeah, Jane, you mentioned kind of the need for, older guys like you to sort of set that example, I guess. There's still obviously a lot of football left to be played. After a couple of tough games, how do you feel like you and some of the other older leaders on the offense have been able to set that example, and what does that look like, I guess, in the locker room?
Bringing good energy. That's one of the biggest things is stuff like that is very contagious. Like, I went through a few rough years at my last years at Temple, and that stuff is contagious. And, when you're, a leader, an older guy, you got to just at least always show good face. You have to, because at the end of the day, you got younger guys that are looking up to you and trying to figure out how to read and try to figure out how to go about things. So at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest things is showing good energy, showing good face, and not being, shaken when stuff like this happens. And that's one of the biggest things you can do, even if it's not with your words. It's just your body language.
Jermaine.
I guess I got to ask you this. Obviously, you played at Temple. Did you guys by chance play Pitt any when you were up there?
No, we played like a few ACC, UNC, Boston College. We never played Pitt, though.
So I guess this part of the question is obviously playing, you played in the state of Pennsylvania. From your thought processes, your thoughts about getting back there and playing there?
Oh, I mean, I'm excited because at the end of the day, I got so much more to show if we speaking from my personal, stuff. So I'm excited about, this game. I know Pitt has some good, a good defense. That's something that a guy like me, who believes in himself, regardless of what the stats show, regardless of what the stats say, and the play that's been going on and all that stuff, I know that I'm capable of doing against a team like that. I've done it for a few years now, so I'm excited.
Let's go to David, and then we'll go to Zoom.
With a defense that plays a lot of man, how fun is that challenge? To look at it and go, all right, I've got to show how good I am and that I can win this challenge.
Yeah. Well, I know the biggest thing here is it's going to start in practice. We're going to have to, stack a good week of practice, going against man coverage, getting, QB1 to believe, like, when it's 3rd and, 7, who am I going to on 3rd down? Those things, showing him, giving him that confidence. And on top of that, when the game time comes, like, you got to be excited about a game where somebody's playing man coverage. That's like a kid in the candy store for me, So we just hoping that, all that stuff, and we continue to just be encouraged and continue to believe in one another. Like, I believe that it's going to turn around. Like, it really is. It's not the end of the world. Still 1-1 in the conference. Still can achieve everything that we want. We got to believe that and know that as a team and understand that anything we want to do going forward is still more than achievable.
Mansour and Cam are two really young corners, true freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
They both played some big snaps this past weekend and will probably play more going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against them in practice, what have you seen from them?
Oh, Mansour and Cam, they are really good. They've always been really good. I've known, I didn't know that they would play that much, of course, early on, but I knew that they were going to have early success wherever they do. So whether it's this year, next year, they're going to be at some point they're going to be 2 starting corners here, in my opinion, because they're really good. It's just a matter of age, getting some experience and all that stuff. But this is good for them because they're going to be I believe they're going to be 2 Hokie legends. Both of them are good. I played against them, in practice, seeing the way they work, seeing the way it's not always just about on the field, too, how people take care of themselves off the field. Both 2 focused kids. I can tell it's going to be a lot of good things coming from them.
Let's go out to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom, we have one or two questions. Can we start with David Seal, please?
Jaden, you mentioned how receivers really look forward to the opportunity to play against that press man-to-man coverage. Tennessee and West Virginia both were able to, to hit some big explosive plays against Pitt. What have you seen watching them on tape, and is that encouraging to you?
It's very encouraging because, when I was watching film, I think the biggest thing is that AQB gave him a chance. Throw it up there. It's a 50-50 ball. That's what it's going to be. It's going to look like that often when it's man-to-man coverage, But at the end of the day, a half a yard, any of that is separation enough for completion to be made, even if it's none. At the end of the day, it's playing the ball. So I feel like the biggest thing that I saw from them was that they threw the ball up. The receivers came down with it sometimes, and sometimes they didn't. But at the end of the day, the opportunity was there for them to make that play.
Then how much does it help your room when a young player such as Daquan comes into the game and contributes like he did Saturday in Chapel Hill?
We already knew Daquan was like he's another kid that's like Cam or Mansour. That they're capable of doing those things. Or like Bryce, that. So it's encouraging, but it's not shocking to us because we've seen them do that for a while now. I just am happy for him that he's able to go out there, get the anxiety out the way, get his first game out of the way, and then continue to show exactly what he did in practice in the game. That's very encouraging for him. So I'm happy for him.
Thank you.
No, thank
Lastly,
you,
on
David.
Zoom, we'll go to Tim.
Yeah, Jaden, Coach Pry was just asked a bit about Grant's confidence and if it's waning because he's not having the type of success that he might have been expecting. What is your role as his receiving core and kind of making sure he stays confident and making sure that he's ready to go out and execute and get you guys the ball week to week?
I think it's communication, staying in his ear, being positive. I think that honestly, that's one thing that I'm going to make sure that I do more of because at the end of the day, quarterbacks have so much going on. They have to know everybody in every single position, everybody's personnel, everybody's tendencies, and then on top of it, have to be able to read a defense and then dissect it to score. So at the end of the day, I think it's on us. We have to do better as a team and stuff just to encourage him. If he's going to be the guy that's out there, you got to encourage him. You got to let him know that we believe in him and got to let him know that because at the end of the day, your voice has so much power. The things you say, it matters. Hence probably why we sitting here in this room right now. So we got to do better at that, and I know I'm going to do that as well.
All right, Travis, back to you.
Jaden, the hit that Gosnell took at the end of the game, it was pretty scary looking on TV. Did something like that shake you guys up at all when a player, a teammate like that goes down? And what do you as his fellow receivers kind of do for him after that, I guess?
I would say with that guy situation, it's something that you don't want to see. It comes with the game, but going forward, the best thing we got to tell guys to do is you got to do what's best for you in this game. Like, when stuff like that happens, especially like head stuff, anything regarding your head, like even with the Tua situation, you can't rush that stuff. It's got to be, take your time to get back because at the end of the day, the things that aren't seen that can't be, you pinpoint an injury to by MRI or something are the things that are, the most scary at the end of the day. So guys just got to take his time to get back. And when he get back, he going to be back running on all cylinders. But, it's scary. But, we met with him yesterday. We were meeting, and then he just stopped by in the room yesterday doing his little checkup. And he's good. Guys is always a super mellow, laid-back dude. And just his personality in general was just funny. So it's good seeing him. But we know he going to be straight. Just got to take the right amount of time to get back and be healthy. So when you come back, you don't got to worry about that stuff no more.
All right. Thanks, Jaden. Thanks, everybody.
All right. No problem.